Yo, what's up? It's your boy, Kupz the Universe, and we're back with another one. This time we're gonna debunk the Garden of Eden story, right? Like, the Garden of Eden was on Earth, all right? That's the first thing. Now, the Garden of Eden was like on the highlands, like the mountains of the near, like the Mediterranean Sea. You understand? It was the highlands. Like when they was talking about the daughters and the sons of man, and the daughters was being on like on the mountains, and they was like in the valleys. That's kind of what they was alluding. They was talking about the Garden of Eden. So you see how the Bible already has it mixed up. Certain stories speak on the same location. They won't tell you, right? Here's another thing that debunked about the garden. It was on the planet Earth and it was in Africa. But there was other races of people around. There was the red people, there was the yellow people, there was the blue people, there was the green people, you know what I'm saying? The orange people, the brown people. You know what I mean? In regions of the planet already. And before there was ever any inhabitants in the garden, there was that was like that. You understand? In the Garden of Eden, now Adam and Eve were immortal, right? There was a fruit, and there was two different types of energies. There was, the circulatory system, which of course we already know was based on a default. I'm not gonna say fall, but they default, right? But there was also an energy nourishment system that was connected through like the tree of life, and of course we know when they defaulted, they forfeited that. There was races around. They had neighboring tribes when they was in the Garden of Eden. You know what I'm saying? One neighboring tribe was the Nadites. All right, the Nadites was basically, for lack of a better term, beings that merged or was mating with other surrounding tribes, and they made it with Nephilim. Nadites have a Nephilim lineage, right? Now, the things of this is this: good and bad. That doctrine came from those Nadite people, right? It was a person named Cano, right, who was like revered in that, tribe. And it was another being, right? Because we always talk about angels, God, and then humans, but we forget that there's another level of beings in between the angels and the humans, the midwayers, right? Like the middle earth, or mid beings, right? Beings that, have greater abilities than we have as human beings, but are not in a capacity to be considered to be called God. You know what I'm saying? And now, one of these beings was named Calagasta. Calagasta. I'm probably pronouncing it wrong, but hear me out. This is what I'm saying. I'm being energized to tell you. And he was a midwayer. He was supposed to be the prince sovereign of the planet. He defaulted because he openly rebelled against the righteousness that was the Heavenly Father, the Universal Father. So they got cut off immediately from the energy circuits of the life force that brings them, because they was like super beings. You know what I'm saying? Now, Eve and Adam also was like super beings because they were immortal. You know what I'm saying? And when they defaulted, this is the default, right? Good is carrying out divine will. Wherever you carrying out divine will, that's good. We're gonna straighten everything out now. Boom. Sin, right? Or bad. right, is a deliberate transgression of divine will. When you deliberately transgress against divine will, you are sinning. You are bad. When you are carrying out the divine plan or the divine will, you are good. And evil. Evil is misadaptation of plans, right? And the maladjustments of techniques, resulting in universal disharmony and planetary confusion. That's it. That's it right there. It ain't no good and bad, oh, murder, death. Because look, there was tribes killing before Adam and Eve was even in this garden. Now back to them. They in the garden. They on this mountain top range that has fruits by the Mediterranean Sea, right? And this guy Kano, the Caligastar being, used to come and visit Adam and Eve. He used to try to get Adam to rebel. Adam was like, nah, I'm good. Try to get Eve. Now through instant gratification and planetary freedom, like in her mind, like she felt she could be free. He milked her. Like he convinced her. So he went and he got one of these Nadite beings. Now mind you, the midwayers, you can't really see midwayers. Some beings can see midwayers, some beings can see angels. You know what I'm saying? At this time, some beings still couldn't. So the dude Kano was like the most charismatic, strong kind of character, but they had a doctrine of spreading good and bad at the same time around the planet. And when he came with his charms and his persuasion, she was persuaded to promote that. You know what I'm saying? And in that, she and Kano had intercourse. Now, people was having babies back then. Ain't nothing changed. It wasn't like babies was just teleporting out the sky. But they wasn't in pain when they had them. You understand? So Kano impregnated Eve. And they had a baby, but it wasn't like instantly. Now, Adam kind of knew something was going on. The man felt like something was wrong. It was disharmony. But he loved her so much that he stuck by her. That's the reason why he was downgraded also. Because he didn't have to stick by her, and he would have found another wife. Be honest. Now, when the Adamite people realized that Adam left for like 30 days because he was stressed out. He was like, damn, my wife cheated on me. Right? Eve ain't know where they was at. And the Adamite peoples that was on that mountaintop by the Mediterranean Sea went down into the one of the neighboring Nadite cities. Killed everybody. Now, when they went back to the Garden of Eden, the other Nadites that got wind of that, they was ready to go to war. So now they ready to march on to, the Eden. And at the end of the day, when Adam came back and was, stressed from, the situations or whatever, they ended up leaving because he didn't want to go to war, because Adam and Eve wasn't a war tribe. But in mixing with the Nadites and mingling, some of the people became warlike. So the first garden was on a hilltop by the Mediterranean Sea. The Nadite people took that land, and the Adam and Eve and his children and them migrated. And they migrated to the location of the second garden, which was in Mesopotamia. Northwest and northeast of Mesopotamia, they had little headquarters also. You understand what I'm saying? And After 70 days of this default, then the Melchizedek angel order, or one of the Melchizedek's angelic order beings, came, and he assumed the jurisdiction over the world affairs. Now, Adam and Eve was left to like not rule the planet, but kind of like rule the planet. You understand? And in what happened with them and them breaking the covenant with their deity, right? That's what was the transgression. See, Caligasta, or the, you know, one of the Prince's staff, the original sovereign of the planet type energy that was in default, like, he openly rebelled. He was successful in trapping Adam and Eve on the planet, because when they defaulted, like I said, they transgressed against covenant, not rebelled against the Most High or the Universal Fathers or none of that energy. So they default, which they've been told about years and years and years by these angelics and the voice of the garden, the voice of the seraphim that's in the garden. It was told, yo, you will be downgraded. So they was cut off for that energy source that was attached to the mind circuits, right? The energy life force that was beyond humanity, and immortality was taken from them, and they didn't really realize what that entailed, but it really meant that they had to live like all the surrounding beings that was around already on the planet. You understand what I'm saying? Archangel Gabriel is the one who told them that they wasn't in contempt or being held as open rebellious of the Most High, the Universal Father, but he told them that they defaulted on they mission to rule over humanity, and that's where they had to still live as humanity and die as humanity. Otherwise, they wasn't dying. They was able to teleport back and forth to whatever plane dimension that they was able to go to. That's higher than this one. So we're gonna do a couple of more of these, but this is just to explain to people, to start it off, to show you: 1, the planet was already populated. 2, the garden was where a certain group of people were. Mind you, everybody was primitive on the planet for the most part, but there were certain pockets of superior beings mentally. And 3, they left the Mesopotamia, the high mountain hilltop by the Mediterranean, which was the first Garden of Eden. They was forced out of that. It wasn't like an angel kicked them out of that. But then again, if you think about it, you can probably go into a fallen angel might have kicked them out of that. But they ended up putting the second garden in Mesopotamia. Alright? And I just want to express that because we need to start realizing that these things happened on this planet. And these texts are texts that came from people that existed over time, that passed them down, and then migrating, they went different places and passed them around, and then merging and mating with others. This is why all of the doctrines are similar in some sense. You know what I'm saying? But we'll be back with another on this. I'm not stopping here. We're going to keep going. You know what I'm saying? So it's your boy, Poet Lounge, aka Petey Mosberg, especially known as Kupz the Universe. And I just want to get that across. And salute to y'all. And we'll be back with another one. Alright? Peace.